Hey guys, and today we're going to build another locomotive. This really got me back into building, so I went and watched a few videos on the internet. So go ahead and get your wheels laid out. We have a 4-8-4, and that means that we have 2, 4, and 2 on each side. So go ahead and go get those built. Pause the video and come back. Okay, now that you've got that done, let's go ahead and put each of these on an axle. And we're going to build this one a little bit different than we built the other. Because we're going to put we're actually going to put the cylinder over, as you can see on the model I built over there as reference. We're going to put this over the cylinder. And I'm going to do it a little bit different this time. Now, I use all of these things on a regular basis, so block of coal, hardened clay, and an anvil. That's what we're going to be using right now, but unlike some of my other engines that have 3 layers back, so normally my engines would be like this, but it's going to actually only have 1 because that's what the engine that we're modeling this after looked like. Now, of course, I'm using the natural texture pack in the Xbox versions, on the console versions of Minecraft. So whatever your the closest thing to black metal that you guys have as your texture pack is what you need to use if you're using the base texture pack. I guess black wool would probably do best. So let's go ahead and, last time I said I didn't like putting double headers here, but the locomotive we're building today was never meant to be pretty. It was meant for heavy passenger service. And so I've decided that I'm going to go through this, and then at the end of the video, or at the end of probably the second half, unless I only do the first half, which I highly doubt, at the end of, let me go check something. Yeah, see. I will talk about the engine and some of its history. So under the headlight, we're going to do that. And already this one looks quite a bit different than the Berkshire that we built in the last episode. Let's go ahead and do this. And another of the similarities is it does not have the bell sticking out like the Berkshire did. And let's go ahead and build this all the way back. As well as another really big difference on this engine is, go ahead and fill those in. Another really big difference with this engine is that on the last engine, the drive shafts went right up, the drive wheels went right up to the cylinder. On this locomotive, they don't, and that wasn't just for looks, that was really how the locomotive was. And that was, so it goes above the gap here, right. Now, some of the things on this locomotive, such as this extra piece here on the sand dome, were for looks. And that is where the ID plate was for the locomotive. Now, here is where it differs. It goes like it was at the end of the drive wheel, but then there's one more. Now, that's not prototypical on all steam engines, but it is prototypical for this locomotive. Again, because, and the reason why I did this is because it was really more like this than it was a Berkshire. Than it it more closely resembled this than a Berkshire, which of course we cannot get any locomotive 100% right in Minecraft because it's impossible. But we can get them pretty close, and they kind of resemble. They just resemble what they're supposed to a little bit. And so you want to just build it like we did the Berkshire, which is why I'm not going through every step like I did with the Berkshire. And you can kind of see what I'm doing here, and when we're done, I'll go back through and explain everything. I'm going to try and put this all up at once. It might kill my internet. I've been keeping them down to 10 to 12 minute parts, and I might actually be able to do the entire locomotive and get a little bit of history in at the end, just because I'm not explaining as much. So you can see, you're thinking, oh Lord, it looks so much worse, but that's why I added these cylinders. And they would have typically been a lot darker on the locomotive than that, so get your black wool and do the same thing. And now this is stone brick stair, it's the same thing that's above it. And this is the only thing that even I had to go back and check my Berkshire build for. And you want to take a button and put the button first and then the tripwire. No. You want to take the tripwire and then the button first. Yeah. See? There we go. So let's go ahead and go put the buttons on the ends of the wheels. So I'll explain it when we put the road number, because I waited to plaster the road number all over the engine and add all the details. So as normal, and this is something else that gets tricky, because a lot of times I think, oh yeah, this is how you do it, and it just doesn't end right. That's how you do it. You put an upside down stair. You do this. Next, you go here, and we're going to do 1, 2, 3, and then a 2 space 1, 2, 3. And each of these little wheels has a space in between it, and that's because they're on 3-wheel trucks. So each of these would be connected on a single axle. Well, not on a single axle, but a single pivot. Which we'll use an anvil for the pivot, just like we did on the pilot of the locomotive, like this. And this time, unlike usual, which you can see over there, I actually just use these stone bricks to go all the way around, just because it's such a low-hanging locomotive. And I would love to have the compatibility like you do in the computer version to be able to do different things with them. So if we go over here, I need to get an underside look. So what you want to do is you want to destroy that. Go, whoop, whoop. Sorry if you hear my chair a lot in this video. I'm trying to relax a little bit. And then you just go like this. Grab this. And there we go. Bam. So when you're done with that, grab your black material and grab some stone, or some spruce slabs. Do this, just because it gives it a bit of a dark base. Well, that's fine. And then we do this. And this is a very, oops, I never filled this in, did I? Yeah. This is a very special type of locomotive, which means it doesn't have to, and that, it means that it can have a small, a tender that's not as tall. As it doesn't burn coal, it burns oil. I would love to be able to start putting these out. And you only want to make this one 3 tall and make it flat. And I do mean flat on top. And if you want to see me build a passenger set to go with these like Lionel did, then just leave it down in the comment section down below. I have a lot of old designs stored in my head that I can use, as well as an SP449, 4449. Now take your stone brick and here, and go up to here and here. Now that's actually the tinder totally finished. There's not much to this tinder because it's an old burning tinder. You don't have any elevation on it, it's just a tinder. And so we're going to go back here. Now I did the pop-off valves special, and I also put the whistle here. And let's see. So the engine that we ended, we actually go down to the second row, and this is 3751. And that's the locomotive that we ended up building today. Let me make sure that's not 3571. Pretty sure it's 3751. Uh-oh. I screwed this up, haven't I? Anyways, whichever one it ends up being, it was on the AT and SF, or the Santa Fe, and it was built originally for passenger service. Yeah, I was right. It's 3751. Okay, this one's right. But it was built for heavyweight passenger service for the Santa Fe, though it was just a typical 484 Northern, which was the nickname given to all locomotives of this wheel arrangement, as well as one number plate down here. And that one does go on the top. And then, oops, and then add your glass. And we are done. This locomotive was actually a little simpler than the Berkshire, and again, I didn't talk as much because I didn't spend as much time actually tutorialing. I forgot to go around like this and just add the buttons to each of these wheels here. And guys, we are done with that build. That was a lot of fun, and first time I've ever built 2 identical locomotives. So I will see you in the next video. Peace.